So yes, of course, I'm enjoying the success, but it's taken a lot from me. And
Yeah.
of course, there are days where I've been so sad that I'm doing all this, but I also want to do so much more.
Yeah.
And now that it's happening, I'm very very happy, and I hope that that happens in the future also, where I can balance both commercial and content. I think for me, my stereotype was majorly that I was the girl you'd fall in love with in the South. So I've done so many love stories. So they always look at me like this soft girl, like, you want to take home. And I knew if Rudra was a Telugu series, probably they would have hated me, because they wouldn't have been open to seeing me like that. Also, because fans down south are very, very possessive about their actors and,
Yeah.
about their images. Why I think for actors to break out of it is very difficult. I'm talking about especially the male actors,
Yeah.
and even for the female actors, they feel the same. And I'm really glad that it happened in Hindi, because and suddenly in this new market, you see me as not just a pretty face or a girl next door. Definitely not a girl next door. You see me in this eccentric character, and I think it couldn't have gotten better for me. I think it happened just at the right time. So it doesn't really stereotype me anymore, and maybe people can see beyond that. Of course, सब अच्छे हैं fans तो like always give you your love, and I think I'm still trying to find that ground in the north especially, but in the south I would say that there's a stiff competition between Telugu fans and Tamil fans, because they both, and even Kerala for that matter, there are they form organizations and they do stuff for you on our birthdays, and they do so much of charity in our names, and I think it's so overwhelming. I think initially also I remember I was very shocked because I didn't know that people could do that for actors, and they've done crazy things. And but I think it would be a competition between Telugu and Tamil. I can't really choose one. Yeah, there was actually three times I actually felt that. First was when I had gone for this shop opening in Tirupati, and after my first film, and there was the whole road was blocked. And I thought, I don't know what is happening. Is it like a public event? And they're like, here for you. And I was like, for me? Like, I felt like, how can they be here for me? Like, they just had all that time, and they've been waiting since afternoon that I'll come. And I remember it was so crazy. I remember my manager had like a broken hand also. Like, it was so crazy. Like he was trying to
Yeah.
protect me. And it was really crazy, and it basically shocked me in the beginning that people really really love you there. Then there was once when I was shooting for a Tamil film, and fans come and meet you and greet you, and there was one fan, I touched his hand and he just like painted, like, oh, he acted like he was painting. So that was like a very, the new moments when you're like,
Yeah.
okay, am I famous? Am I that famous? And then there are fans who always get tattoos of your names, and that's crazy, but that's the South for you. Yeah. So we started with I auditioned for this role, and when I was auditioning for it and I read the scene, I was very excited because I never thought somebody would come to me with this role. Considering the type of image I had, and the type of probably the face that probably they didn't think would suit this character. And I took it up as a challenge. I auditioned for it, and I got the part. And after I got the part, we had workshops with my director to really get into the skin of the character. And my director was happy with the way I was, thinking of her. I was creating her in my head. She's a sociopath. I did have reference points because most of the films have psychopaths, and
Yeah.
this girl is a sociopath who does have a certain emotion. So I was trying to channel it. Where will she get the emotion? When will she get? Why is she so obsessive? And all that, all those were my questions. And I had to do a lot of reading through books and reading articles and understanding the difference. And you'll see that in my body language. Actually, personally, I'm a very shy person. But when you see me in Rudra, it's just like she's going out there and she's after Rudra, and she's like into his life, and I'm just not that. So
Yeah.
I had to like find a place to be her. Like I had to find some common ground between me and her. I had to understand her, and I think it's one of the most difficult parts I ever played, and it was very difficult for me. But I thoroughly enjoyed it also because I think I improved myself as an actor and even
Yeah.
as a person. I'm still shy if you ask me. I still have that side. You'll never see it probably when I'm out there in events, out there in places, because I'll be confident. But inside, I'm like, oh my God, like, it just gives me anxiety, like, being around so many people. But I think eventually with the fans in the South, I've become very comfortable to the idea of being famous. So I
Yeah.
understand that we are who we are because they are there. Otherwise, we are nobody. So when I understood that support, I sort of became open to that love. That still didn't change the fact that I'm still shy around people. I am like that, but I can't be shy with on screen. That's something that I can't be. That's a challenge, and I think I'm working really well towards it. I think, and it's working for me, so that's fine. I don't think I tell myself anything. Uh, I am shy, but I'm not afraid of the camera. If you understand what I mean, like you'll always see me confident on stage and talking to people. I'll always be confident, but inside it does make me anxious. Like outside, maybe I have a very good exterior to show, but inside I'm like, you always have this thing that I hope I don't say the wrong thing. I hope I don't hurt anybody. I hope all those things keep running in my head because I don't so much, especially when I meet people. I'm the quiet one in one corner. You'll see me in any party, I'll be the quiet one, one corner. So I think I just like to keep to myself. And I know that the industry that I'm in will always have to be out there. And that's all the more reason that I let work speak for myself more than anything else. And you'll actually never know much about my personal life anyway. So I think that's how I like to keep it. I was initially very scared and intimidated because he is a huge star, and I'd heard that he's somebody who doesn't talk so much. And then when I was reading the lines, I was like, oh shit, I'm so scared because I have to have this camaraderie with him to make this work, otherwise it won't. And if he doesn't talk too much, maybe I'll get intimidated, maybe I'll not be able to give my best. But I think the first day he broke the ice and he was very sweet and very nice, and he understood that it was very difficult for me. He understood I'm like him. He's like, you're like me only, like I'm not talking much, staying to yourself and everything. And I think he understood that, and he saw a younger version of himself in me basically. So he knew how to make me feel comfortable, and I think that's why it just gave me so much confidence. His support, and he's a fabulous actor, and I would love to work with him in the future again. And I think the chemistry also became the talking point, and all credit goes to him, not to me. Basically, Yodha is, of course, I know people talk about they're saying it's a hijack film and all that jazz. So my character in it is much more than just being opposite Sidharth. Like, of course, we have a romantic angle involved, and we have all the songs and everything. But there's so much more to my character, and I think it's one of the best written characters in the script. Like when I was reading it, I was like, "This is fabulous! Like I love this." And you'll obviously see me in a very new light, especially the North audience. When they see me in Rudra and they see me in Yodha, they'll be like, "Is she the same girl?" That's the kind of difference that there is. And there's also the authority that this girl has. And in fact, like I've never had a film where I've had to work so much more without my co-actor. Like maybe with Siddharth I would have shot some 15 days, but my work alone is some 20 days. So I'm just thinking, okay, like so basically there's a lot of there's a great depth to my character in Buddha. And that is what I'm really looking forward to whenever it releases, because that just shows another shade of me. And of course, it's Dharma. The production values are huge, and every time I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, I'm doing a Dharma film. Like I never thought in my head I would reach here, but I'm very happy to be working with Sidharth and the whole team of Dharma. They're very nice, and even my directors. Sagar and Pushkar are fabulous. So I am really enjoying my time right now. Yeah. So I have like two films in Telugu which I have wrapped up. One is Thank You and one is Pakka Commercial. And I don't know if people know that I'm also known as a comedian in the South. Like I'm quite a comedian. Like I'm like comedy. And so I play this out and out comic role in Pakka Commercial versus Thank You, which is again a love story, but then it has all these emotions and it's about gratitude with Naga Chaitanya. And both the films will hit summer this year. One is a May release and one maybe a June-July release. Then in Tamil, there's one with Dhanush that should again be a summer release, and one is with Karthi, which is called Sardar, with this amazing director called Mitran. And it has a fabulous script. Can't reveal much, but it's fabulous. I'm very happy to be on board for it, which is also apparently end of the year release. And then again, Rudra's just released. I have Yodha, and I have the series with the Shahid, which is with Raashii Khanna, fabulous set of people, and Vijay Sethupathi, my favorite. So that is a series I'm really looking forward to more than anything else. I mean, there's Yodha, of course, but this series is something that's very close to my heart because this is the first thing that I signed even before Rudra or even before Yodha happened. So that it's very close to my heart, and the character that I play is kick-ass. And I think Rajan DK are great directors who've like written these characters, etched them out beautifully. And I think it's completely de-glam. It's Raashii Khanna de-glam in that show. And I think that's a fabulous thing, you know. So yeah, that's also something that I'm looking forward to. I don't know when it will release. Hopefully, maybe like end of this year sometime. I'm also I'm really waiting for it.
But
Yes.
what can you tell me about this Rajan DK show? Apart from the fact that it's kick-ass.
I think nothing, because if I say anything, I'll just start getting calls because I'm not really allowed to speak about it.
Yeah.
But all I can say is that with Rajan DK sir's series, it's basically the story that's the hero more than anybody else,
Yeah.
and all the characters have been etched out beautifully. And she's again a go-getter. She gets what she wants. She's extremely passionate about her job. Now, what she does, how she does, the all that I can't reveal. But all I can say is that every woman will relate to the character that I play in Rajani Kisar's series. Yeah. I think the one thing I really admire about Ajay sir is the fact that he's extremely secure as an actor, and the fact that he shines himself, but he makes sure that the other person also shines. Like, he'll make sure that you're also giving your best. Like, it's about the scene, it's not about him, which I think is a fabulous trait for especially coming from him. Like, especially in this series when it was so difficult for me, he was a huge support.
Yeah.
So that way, I think he's one of the most secure actors that I have worked with. I think Shahid is extremely focused. I think I have to give him that. He is so much into character and so much into it that you just start seeing the character more than you see Shahid, which I
Yeah.
think is a fabulous thing to him. And I think Sidharth is a director's actor. That's a fabulous trait that he has. Like, he'll go exactly according to what the directors say, and he gives his best. He gives his all. So I think these are different things that I've seen or witnessed in all these three guys. See, I think it's never easy for anyone in any field. But I think it's a mix of destiny and hard work, if you ask me. I cannot give the whole credit to myself. But all I do is at the end of the day, when I'm sleeping, I should be able to tell myself I gave it my best to this
Yeah.
day. And that's why I said I'm very hard on myself, because I make every hour count. And at the end of the day, if I'm happy with the effort that I've put in, that's all I can do. And then it's just destiny wherever it takes you. It hasn't been easy, of course. There have been times when you're rejected for a role because you don't look the part, and they don't think that you can be that intense, because all that I've done is probably love stories or those girl next door characters. And then suddenly to be actually noticed for acting is a huge deal for me, because that's something that I always wanted. So yes, of course, I'm enjoying the success, but it's taken a lot from me. And
Yeah.
of course, there are days where I've been so sad that I'm doing all this, but I also want to do so much more.
Yeah.
And now that it's happening, I'm very, very happy, and I hope that that happens in the future also, where I can balance both commercial and content. And if there's a mix, then nothing like it.